overcoming the flesh. Man can go to church, woman can go to church 20 or 30 years and never overcome the flesh. And according to the Bible, if you live after the flesh, you will die. Well, how would one overcome the flesh? We have a great example of that in the Bible. We're actually going to use the man Jacob. And I want you to understand that this man had lived his life in such a way that he even wanted to make a bargain with God. That if you do so and so for me, I'll let you be my God. This man tricked a lot of people, tricked his own daddy, and the time came that he was afraid. He was afraid of his brother Esau, that he had cheated out of some things, and then some things he actually swindled, worked a good deal, and got a birthright. But that's not the main thing. How did he overcome the flesh? And what is it that we can learn to overcome the flesh so that we will be pleasing to God, so that we can live our lives in such a way that people can look at us and see the miracle that God has worked in our life? I'm talking about changing us from being a scoundrel, a cheat, a liar, a person that did not honor the authority of his father, to a person that strives with God. Let's look at Genesis chapter 32, verse 24. Let's listen to what the Bible tells us about this man named Jacob. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. That's Jacob's thigh. And the hollow of his thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, "Let me go before the day break." And he said, "I will not let thee go except thou bless me." And he said, "What is thy name?" And he said, "Jacob." And he said, "Thy name shall no more be called Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with man, and hast prevailed." And Jacob asked him, and he said, "What is thy name? Tell me, I pray thee, thy name." And he says, "Wherefore is it that thou dost ask my name?" And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for there I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. If you just read the Bible the first time and you see this, you think that this is just a nice little story. But it's loaded with power of how to overcome the flesh. Here is a man getting ready to meet somebody that you've wronged. Here is a man leaving from somebody that wronged you and that you wronged him. And now you're scared to death, and you have only thing on your side is your machinations. You've sent gifts to pacify one man. And now you're separating your children, the ones you love the most from the ones you don't. And now here comes the meeting tomorrow. And they met a man, and they wrestled. I want you to understand something. This man is not an ordinary man. This man is actually God. He's taken on a human form and is wrestling with him. Notice he says, "What is your name?" Well, before Jacob's daddy had asked him what's his name, and he said, "My name Esau." He was tricking. And so when he wrestled with the man, he saw he didn't prevail against him. And so he touched the hollow of his thigh and knocked it out of joint. And notice what he said, "Let me go." Your hips already out of socket. And listen to what he said, "I will not let you go until you bless me." Saints, if you ever want to overcome the flesh, you are going to have to wrestle with God. Because if you've already been doing your own thing, he's not going to accept that. He wrestled with God. That is a form of prayer. That is a form of continuing in prayer till you get what you need. He said, "I'm not going to let you go. I'm not. I don't have the power to change me. I don't have enough strength to face Esau. I don't have enough power for all these people I'm seeing in the world that's going to be at me at Canaan. I'm not going to let you go because I know who you are. When are we, as calling ourselves the people of God, going to start saying, Lord, I'm not going to let you go till I change. I'm not going to let you go till I quit lying. I'm not going to quit holding and begging you till I stop stealing or fornicating, till I start to love my neighbors, till I'm stopped having all these problems in these assemblies where people are. Lord, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me, because I can't bless myself in the eternal way. And he says, what is your name? And he says, you will no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. Now you're going to be called a prince of God. That is because you struggled. That is because you didn't give up. That is because you went to the one that can lift you up when you're down. And therefore, he says, now you have power with God and man. Now he has power with God. Don't you want to overcome the flesh and have power with God? When your child is sick, when your child is gone, when your family member is messed up, when your husband won't treat you right, on your job, you now have been redeemed. You now have been cleaned up. You have power with God. You had to be broken down to the place that you didn't understand, Jacob. But now you have power with God. You're limping. You've been wounded, and you're the strongest you've ever been in your life. You have power with God, and with men thou hast prevailed. And he says, and Jacob asked him, tell me your name. And he says, where is it that you dost ask my name? But it says, and he blessed him. Will you give up before he blesses you? Will you give up before the God of heaven, the only one that has enough strength to lift your burdens, the only one that has enough strength to straighten out your situations, the only one that has enough power to fix our government, the only one that has enough power to help people in their ministry? It's got to be someone that's strong. It's got to be someone that's strong enough to stretch the heavens. It's got to be someone that can lay the pillars of the earth. It's got to be someone that everything in the earth bow to, and that's the King of glory. When you have power with him and he blesses you, now you're on a different level. Now you're in a different place. You're a prince with God. You have now entered into a priesthood, and you entered into the right family. And then Jacob called the place Peniel, because he said, I've seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. In other words, I was messed up before. But I want you to hear how the Bible speaks of that same thing when you get to the book of Hosea, and God is getting ready to deal with the nation. He's going to let them go back and look at what was written before time for them to understand what it means to actually pursue God, pursue him until he delivers you from the flesh, till he redeems you from death, till he delivers you from yourself, so that you can be one with him. It's not about what you claim. It's about what he does. Listen to what the Bible says. Hosea chapter 12, verse 3. He took his brother by the heel in the womb. That's before Jacob was born. And by his strength, he had power with God. Understand this, please. In the words of young people, don't get it twisted. He was never stronger than God. But by his strength of persistence, by his strength that I'm going to hold on, you are all that I got until we get to where he is all that we've got. We'll still fornicate. We'll still lie. We'll still be in competition with other churches, and even when you're both trying to serve God, you're trying to serve Yahweh, trying to outdo your brother. Why? He was trying to outdo his brother. He had strength. It says by his strength, he had power with God. The only strength that he had was enough to humble himself and to grab and to hold like somebody trying to ride a bronco and not let go before he gets hurt. And he says, verse 4, yea, he had power over the angel. That's the Malach, the messenger, and prevail. Listen to this. You didn't catch this in Genesis. It says he wept. It said he wept. He cried. He cried. That thing was bothering him. Not only am I scared, my life is in danger. I'm going to lose the blessing that Abraham, my father, had given. I'm going to lose everything because I don't know children. I have all these wives. I got problems with my brothers. I'm out here in a world that don't want anything you have. I don't know where I'm going with my life. All that I know is you told me to move. He wept. Listen to this part right here. And made supplication. That means he prayed. He called out. And the way it showed it in Genesis, he did it by holding on, grasping to God. That's what I had to do. I had to do that. My life was going down. I knew that I was going to die and I would have been in hell. I knew that I had walked away from the Most High. And it didn't matter why. It didn't matter why. Over here you fornicate. Over here you get angry. Over here you getting ready to fight. Over here. And then you look at other people when they do you wrong and not think about the wrong you've done. Jacob had to understand I've done stuff. Help me! Until we get to the place that we ask him to help, we still think we good. We still think that we good. We still don't have no remorse over what we've done. We think that we're good and we're not until he blesses. He made supplication to him. He found him at Bethel, and there he spake with us. Bethel means the house of God. You see, he saw him one time before at the top of those stairs. They call it a ladder. Some may think it's a tower, but here's the problem. When he saw him then, he started bargaining. If you so-and-so, I'll so-and-so. But when he recognized his need, he said, I'm not letting you go till you bless me. Then listen to this. This is beautiful. Even Yahweh, God of hosts, of armies, listen. Yahweh is his memorial. If I were to stop right here and not read the last passage I had for you, do you understand that Israel, that's his memorial? That's his memorial. Do you understand that's his memorial? For some people, that memorial is they can play basketball. They can play football. They had certain songs. They got a star on the walk of fame. His memorial is Yahweh. His memorial is that God blessed him and that he redeemed him, that he gave him a new name, that he delivered him and preserved his soul. Pray to God that that's your memorial. Everyone that I pray for, like I've said before, everybody on my Facebook page that's my friend or that say that they want to be friended by me or that I talk to on there and the people that I work with, I pray for you. I want my memorial to be Yahweh. I don't want you to remember me just because I knew something in the Bible. I don't want you to remember me because I can say 2 or 3 things and put a sentence together. I want you to remember me that God redeemed me, that he preserved me, that he saved me, that he changed me, and that he's my memorial. Period. In the sentence. But I want you to hear how he talked to his grandsons and his sons with the magnificent blessing that Yahweh God put on him. It's very beautiful. You see, he'd never seen his grandchildren before. And if he had already seen them before then, this is the time he's getting ready to die, so he's going to see them this time. And they brought Ephraim and Manasseh, Joseph's son. His name had been changed to Zaphenath-Paneah. We ain't going to talk about all that right now. But anyway, listen to what happened. Genesis chapter 48, verse 14 through 16. And Israel, see that new name? And Israel, the prince with God, stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, guiding his hand wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. So he guided his hand wittingly to bless. Okay? Then it says, and blessed Joseph. He blessed his son and said, God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, God which fed me all my life until this day, even when I was wicked, even before I was redeemed, I look back and I realize he fed me. But notice this, verse 16. The angel which redeemed me from all evil. When it says angel, don't doubt when I said it was God that had taken on a form. This was a messenger. He came as a messenger from Yahweh the Father. It says, the angel which redeemed me. This is what we want. How did he get redeemed from all the angels? Evil. He got a hold of God. He cried. that thing people call addiction. You may have a spirit inside of you that's wicked and ungodly and enjoying what you're doing vicariously through your body. You need to be redeemed from death and brought to life. We need to pray for each other to that end. But you got to do your own thing to be delivered from the flesh. And he says, the angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be on them, and the name of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. You see, when that angel changed his name, and when you see that angel blessed him, he said, I saw God face to face. The Bible says only the pure in heart will see God. When your heart is clean, and you're ready to be redeemed and overcome the flesh, I don't have a 5-step plan for you other than this. Hold on to God. Trust his word and not let go till you see the victory, till he changes your name the way you become a prince of God. If you do that, you'll be a blessing to the world. Amen and amen and amen.